The bank lobby was quiet that morning, the kind of silence that carried a weight of formality. A few people stood in line, clutching their checks and deposit slips. Among them was Angela Williams, a middle-aged black woman, dressed in a simple navy blue suit. Her steps were steady, her shoulders straight. But her eyes carried something deeper, like she was holding more than just the papers in her hand. Angela waited patiently, moving forward as each customer was served. She wasn't rushing, but she wasn't distracted either, knew exactly what she had come to do. When it was finally her turn, she approached the counter with calm confidence and slid a withdrawal slip across the polished surface. The teller glanced at it, then at her, and froze. The number written on the slip was large, very large. Too large, in the teller's eyes, for a woman like Angela. The teller excused herself quickly and carried the slip to the branch manager. From her desk, the manager peeked over at Angela. Her brows furrowed, her lips tightened. She didn't see a professional woman. She didn't see a customer who had the right to her money. All she saw was suspicion. Angela stood, waiting, unaware of the storm forming just a few steps away. The manager whispered to the teller, both of them glancing back at her as if she were an intruder. Angela's heart began to beat a little faster. She had felt this before, as that judged her before words were spoken. Decisions made before truth was known. Instead of returning to process the request, the teller disappeared into the back. Moments later, the manager picked up the phone. Angela watched her lips move, her voice sharp, clipped, controlled. She was making a call. And then, like a shadow that grew across the room, Angela realized what was happening. The manager wasn't verifying her account. She was reporting her. Minutes felt like hours. Angela remained standing, holding her purse close, her papers still in hand. The lobby grew tense, other customers beginning to notice. A mother tugged her child closer. A man shook his head quietly, as if he already knew the story that would be told about her. Then the sound that made her stomach drop, the heavy slam of doors as two FBI agents entered the bank. Their dark suits cut through the silence. Every head turned. Every breath held. The manager stepped forward eagerly, pointing at Angela with a certainty that carried no hesitation. Her. That's the one. Angela's throat tightened. She wanted to speak, to defend herself, to tell them they were making a mistake. But before she could even take a breath, the agents moved closer, their eyes locked on her. The room felt like it tilted, and Angela realized in that chilling moment her life was about to change. To be continued. The bank fell silent. Eyes shifted between the manager and the woman, tension filling the air. The black woman's hands trembled slightly as she held her ID and papers tighter. She had walked in with hope, not expecting to be treated like a suspect. The manager's voice grew louder, carrying across the room. This woman is trying to commit fraud. The FBI's already on the way. Everyone stepped back. The other customers exchanged uneasy glances. Some whispered, others simply stared. The woman's chest tightened. She tried to explain, but every word she spoke was cut short by the manager's sharp interruptions. "No one talks over me in my bank," he snapped. The security guard, hesitant at first, stepped closer to her. Down. His hand rested near his belt, ready for anything. The black woman's voice cracked, but she stood tall. "Please, I worked for years for this money. This is my account. Check again." But the manager refused to even look at the papers she held. Minutes felt like hours, until the sound of heavy footsteps echoed through the marble floor. Two men in dark suits entered, FBI agents, their presence undeniable. The room froze. The manager's smug smile returned as he pointed at the woman. "There she is. Arrest her." The agents approached, scanning the scene. They looked at the manager, then at the woman. She extended her trembling hand with her ID and a folder of documents. For a moment, no one spoke. The tension cut like a blade. One agent flipped through the folder, his eyes narrowing. Then he turned to his partner. Both exchanged a look. Something shifted in the air. The manager leaned forward eagerly, whispering, "Take her away already. She's wasting everyone's time." But the agents didn't move toward the woman with cuffs. Instead, they stepped closer slowly, carefully, like approaching someone they recognized. The crowd leaned in, curious. The woman's breath caught in her throat. She braced herself for the worst. Then, one agent quietly asked her a single question, one that made the manager stiffen. "Could you confirm your service number?" The woman's lips parted. She hesitated, confused why they would ask that here. But she answered softly. The moment the words left her mouth, both agents froze. The tension broke, but in a way no one expected. The manager frowned, confused. What are you waiting for? Arrest her. But the agents didn't reach for their cuffs. Instead, they stood taller, their posture straightening like soldiers at attention, and then it happened. Without a word, they saluted her. The bank gasped. The manager's smug face turned pale. And the woman? She just stood there, her story still untold, as the entire bank waited to understand who she really was. The bank was silent now. The manager's face had gone pale, sweat dripping down his temple as the lead FBI agent stepped closer. Everyone was expecting handcuffs, but instead, the agent raised his right hand. With a voice steady and full of respect, he said, "Ma'am, it's an honor." The crowd froze. Nobody understood what was happening. Then, one by one, the other agents followed. They didn't pull out cuffs. They didn't ask questions. They saluted. Right there in front of the shocked customers and employees. The black woman slowly reached into her bag, but instead of pulling out money, she revealed a small, weathered medal. Its shine had faded, but its meaning hadn't. The FBI agent explained, "This woman is a retired combat medic. A decorated veteran who saved lives most of us will never know about. She didn't come here to commit a crime. She came here because the government owed her, and she was trying to access her own benefits." Whispers rippled through the bank. The same customers who moments ago watched with judgment now lowered their eyes in shame. The same manager who had called the FBI looked like he wanted to disappear into the floor. The agent continued, "She has given more to this country than anyone in this building could ever repay." His words were heavy, but they carried truth. The manager stuttered, I didn't know," but the agent cut him off. "That's the problem, you didn't ask. You judged her before you even gave her a chance." The black woman stood tall. She didn't need to argue, didn't need to shout. The salute spoke louder than any words could. For the first time in that bank, she wasn't the suspicious stranger or the troublemaker. She was seen for who she truly was, a hero who had worn the uniform and carried the weight of sacrifice. The customers began clapping slowly, some even tearing up. One elderly man whispered, "God bless you, ma'am." Others nodded in respect, realizing the cruelty of their earlier silence. The manager, red with embarrassment, tried to apologize, but she didn't respond. She simply looked at him, calm yet unshaken, and walked out of the bank with her head held high. The FBI agents escorted her to the door, still saluting. And that was the lesson no one in that building would forget. Never judge a person by the color of their skin or the weight of their clothes. Because sometimes, the person you look down on is the one who carried a nation on their back. The story spread across the city within hours. The woman never asked for recognition, but respect had finally followed her, even when dignity was denied.